Well, hello there, and welcome to issue number 114. This is all about the Taurus snake, and as you can see on the caption prior to the video, those are all the dates you have to be in to fall into this Western and Eastern astrological combination. Any questions, any messages, don't hesitate to get in touch, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So where do we start? Well, we start from the Taurus snake as a youngster. Now, the Taurus, very family orientated, very loving towards their family, can be slightly stubborn, but you add the snake into this mix, again, love their family, and you get a really easy going, easy to raise, non-problem child. You know, they really do sail through. They're willing to go to work with mum or dad, or sit round with the neighbours, and you know, they really are just so willing to just get along. Nothing really phases this combination. They're very, very placid, and as I say, really adaptable. And you'll notice this going through their school years. The teachers will notice this. They'll always have something nice to say about, how well behaved, no problem, and just really just charm their way through. And they've always sort of get on with their teachers, and as I say, there's never any conflicts. They don't bring trouble home, because their family life and their family is very important to them, so they hate the thought of bringing in trouble home. That sort of really sort of goes against the grain with them, because they like to be sort of like, no, you know, they like to protect their parents and their siblings as well. So there's not any of that sort of trouble knocking at the door, shall we say, with this combination. So as we're going through the college years, or possibly the university years, but they may be headhunted quite soon, because what will be noticed is whatever job they take on, and I really advise sales for the for a snake, or even possibly antiques. That's another thing we'll get onto. But one thing you'll notice is their charm. They are an absolute seducer, male or female. This combination, they really are a joy to watch in their sense of how they just seduce their company and hypnotise them into basically just falling at their feet. You know, it's quite comical as well. So if you are the boss out there and you've got that Taurus snake as your employee, send them out on the business dinners. They will get whatever that company, whatever you want, you give them the price, they get it, because you talk to the prospective buyer or the seller, whatever it may be, and they say, well, what's the deal? And they come out and say, I don't know, I was just so mesmerised, I just said yes. That's where we get to the essence of this combination. They really have it at their fingertips, where they can just wrap everybody and anybody around their fingers, just say, this is easy, you know. But they do it in such a loving manner, lovely way, that the people don't realise. They don't really realise they're being very eloquent. They know their wines, they know their foods, they know their fine stuff. So dining with clients, they will look the part, and trust me, they will get the deals. And if we want to talk about antiques, which I mentioned, you send your Taurus snake out as a buyer, any items, just reward them with something bespoke, something very classy, historic. They're going to like Victorian style, they're going to like maybe even earlier, just that look, or a Renaissance look, something that they can kit out in their house. You know, that's their gift. You go and get with them deals, if you offer there's a nice gift in it for you, they will love that, because their home will be something amazing. I can see, you know, that only the very best, only the very finest stuff, and they would have procured this through deals, through gifts from clients, etc. And it really will be top quality. They know top quality as well. They know a jewel and they know a piece of rubbish. So they're very articulate and refined. But they seduce. So how do you deal with this? Well, you can't. You know, that's just what they're programmed to do. That's just their nature. They have to coil and seduce. It's a very seductive and it's a very physical combination. One that loves to mesmerise, and they're going to be so utterly gorgeous that that's how mesmeric they are. But the Taurus snake has got to remember, you know, for them sometimes it's a bit of a game, because they want to say, oh, they think they're a tough nut to crack, this is going to be easy, like that. So it can be a little bit of a game to them. That's where we have to be careful when you come in contact with the Taurus snake, that you don't get hurt too, badly. You'll never forget the Taurus snake, but for them to stay around, and we're talking a different level then, we're talking a different level of, you need to be psychologically in tune, and there's a lot more things to it, because you just don't want the Taurus snake floating in, getting what they need, getting what they came for, and then just floating off out, because that's what they will do, and they'll take your heart with them. So this is something that both sides, I'm all for the Taurus snake does it because it does it, and that's fair enough. I think it's fair enough, because if you learn who you are having dinner with, then maybe you can put up your own defences in your own way, because everybody's capable. As we say, who's going to capture the imagination of this creature? Rather than them coming in dictating, they're going to need a little bit of a challenge. So this is where we've got to look for their matches. Yes, it needs to be very physical. Yes, it needs to be psychological as well. It needs to be as though they're not completely dominant, they're not completely on top, but not too much of a challenge, so we ever get the snake to strike or the Taurus to charge, because that's a very rare occurrence. You've got to remember, the Taurus is a dangerous character. Will only charge once or twice in their lifetime, but when they do, it's not nice, and it's as a last resort. The snake, on the other hand, will strike, it will protect, it will be devastating strike. But again, it's going to even itself out, because there's going to be a nice equilibrium there, and I really don't feel they ever have the need to do this. And they'll be very watchful of that real deep down temper, and I really think they can keep it hidden for forever, really, because I don't think that anyone's going to really push them that far, because they're normally so in control that things like that won't affect them. So who is going to be the sign and the combination to really, keep them in play, keep them interested, should we say, keep their mind ticking, plus going to be sexually in tune. There's a lot of, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of heat here, and it needs to be quenched. Well, you can't look any further than the rooster. It's the finest matched snake in the rooster. I've spoken about it many times. With the rooster, you have the independence. You never totally conquer the rooster. The rooster gives as good as it gets, and there's a massive, massive respect for each other, and a real devotion that they bring out in each other. So, this is perfect for the snake. So let's look for the Cancerian roosters, the Virgo roosters, the Scorpio roosters, and the Piscean roosters. Wonderful matches, and as I say, there will be a great endearing nature where it feels fresh all the time as well. There'll be a great sort of seems to be an adventure occurring almost all the time, so that's very, very good, and it keeps the snake in tune. Plus they love their fine stuff together, and very palatial. The gaff will be even better with the rooster's own eccentric but also very refined touches. And also an unusual one for the snake, but they've got to have an oxen as well, because the oxen, as we've talked about, is again a very central but private character, not a massive talker, but they've got that solidity, they've got that quiet confidence, which the snake really does enjoy. They look at the ox as quite an enchanting and quite an endearing character as well. So they feel as though they've met an equal in that sense, where, you know, the ox can hold back a bit. They don't go full on and push on. But once you light the oxen's fires, you know, that's excellent sexually as well. And psychologically, they can have some real deep philosophical chats, although the oxen, as I say, is a bit reticent sometimes about talking. They're very deep, but the snake will like that. They'd like to unearth little bits and bobs as they're going along about the ox. So that really is a great match. So let's look for the Cancer ox, the Virgo ox, the Scorpio ox, and the Piscean ox. We must look at those because, you know, that's where we're going to get the best joy. The ones to avoid, they've got to be the pigs, because the naive pig, shall we say, very trusting, will be too much of an easy target for the snake, and the snake will just take what they want, when they want, how they want, and it's very damaging, because then the pig will get very vindictive, and they can cause a mess as well. When your pig's really upset, they're very emotional, they wear their hearts on their sleeve, as you know, and they will be deeply hurt, and when they're deeply hurt, they can cause some damage. So let's not entertain each other, because it only looks as though it could end up in a bloodbath, and the Taurus snake is the only winner in that scenario, but the pig will take something with them. So be very, very careful that you don't get mixed up together, and I suggest that in business as well, because there might be some unscrupulousness from the snake, not meaning to, but they're just doing this. Remember, it's not a subconscious thing where they're going to say, right, I've got to do it. They just will, and the pig will end up without any cash. Okay, if we want to look at some safety issues as concerns the health of the Taurus snake, well, can be a little bit of fine dining and fine living that may possibly, you know, give them maybe a small bout of gout, or possibly like that, the real finery stuff. They may feel a little bit sluggish from time to time because of overindulgence, but because they're passionate and hot, they tend to work that off pretty quickly and get back into the run of things. So, what a fantastic combo, and the very best of luck. Thank you for joining me on this issue, and please join me in the next one. Thank you.